Hello and welcome to the Indie Bandits Twitch channel and YouTube channel. My name is Jimmy and I'm here with Joe.
Good evening, Jimmy.
Good evening to you too. Oh, hello. I think I've got a bit of reverb on here. Shut up. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. It was like being at a Bruce Springsteen concert for about 3 seconds. Good evening, Antwerp and Bruges. Yeah, I'm not too bad. You know what? I feel that I can't start any stream anymore without telling you whether or not I've done the big shop, and I'll let you know that I haven't.
Bit devastated that you haven't done it actually.
That's how big a shop it was. I wasn't messing around when I told you that we did the big shop and it was impressive. I mean, like I don't think I'll ever go to a supermarket again. I think that's me done for
That's
the
the
rest
last
of my life.
time, yeah.
I've got all the odds and sods I need.
Well, I think you saw from the pictures I was sending you today, we were doing our big shop today.
You were.
It was a colossal shop actually. It was twice the shop that we thought it was going to be.
I mean, you have the advantage of owning a car and being able to do your shopping further out the way, right? You can go to those big ass supermarkets and like really like, you know, it's almost like now that you're talking about your big shop, I'm kind of like, well, my shop wasn't that big actually. We carried it all home by hand.
Yeah,
So
we had the proper
it's
big
like
shop
you
today.
call that a big shop, Joe? Check this out. Like we have filled the boot of the car. That's what's going on here.
The boot of the car is filled with chocolates and beer.
Nice. The essentials.
Yep.
Part of your 5 a day.
God's servant. Yes.
Speaking of beer, there's a food festival going on here, and well, not a food fest. I don't know what you call it. It's just a little like I think they do it every year, where it's just a lot of like local producers. It's a bit like a farmers market, you know, but they've got all sorts. I managed to pick up some muffins, as in breakfast muffins, not other
Nice.
muffins, or English muffins if you're from across the pond. It might surprise non-English people to know that the English don't call them English muffins; they just call them muffins. And got some breakfast muffins and some nice selection of beers. So I'm sat here with a lovely Belgian blonde and a nice beer. Way right, top the bands.
I'm just gonna turn Joe's audio channel off there for the rest of the stream. I think
just that's it. It's not going to be topped.
you can keep talking, Joe. Just no one else will hear you.
That's how most people prefer it. So yeah, it was canny selection of locally made beers. So actually picked the Belgian blonde because we have a strong presence in Belgium in this game, not the Indie Bandits. I don't actually know how popular
We're
we are
massive in Belgium.
You know what though? In the very early days of the website, I do think there were a few Belgians who were some of the earliest adopters to what we were doing. So for a
Nice.
while, we were getting like a sort of irregular number of visits from Belgium to our website for what you would suspect for an English language website. So yeah, we might be quite big in Belgium. So we've got the Belgian blonde to go with that, and the you know, the towns of Bruges and Antwerp that we own, because we had a good go at the Holy Roman Empire. I've also got a German Pils lager to come up later on. So
Nice.
something one to move on to the other. I don't know if that's particularly a good idea. I mean, you know, I'm not pairing these with one another. It's probably a very silly idea to drink one and the other because it's just not, one's going to taste weird. But you know what? It's never bothered me before. You know, just mixing and matching beers. What did you auto resolve that?
There was no point in not auto resolving that one. Just wiped out. Feels unappreciated. He's the king.
Imagine, like, if you think your lass is like demanding and needy, you should replace her with King James from this game.
Yeah, he clearly needs it.
He is flipping the king, and he's still not happy.
Yeah, he's. I don't.
By the way,
yeah,
I'll let you know which because King James feeling unappreciated is not well, it might be historically accurate, but it's not historically accurate for the time. So I just let you know, the last time we were playing this, we would have had Edward III dying and being succeeded by Richard II in Well, Edward died in 1376. Richard
Okay.
II was only 10 years old. The country was ruled by his uncle, John of Gaunt, which is
That's a good name.
it's
Oh,
a
I
good
like that
slash
one.
terrible name. No, but it sounds like he's just, I'm sure Gaunt's a place, but
It is.
it just,
Shit,
all right.
we
well,
don't,
'cause
it's
it
down
sounds
Leicestershire
really-
way. We drove past
all
it.
right. Well,
Popped in to see
you know
John.
what? Of Gaunt.
Mhm.
Good.
Mate, is John
Well,
around,
it's-
mate? Like, oh yeah, he's just round the back. Oh, cracking. Bring him out, would you?
Well, it's a trap because his son Henry Bolingbroke eventually murdered Richard and became king.
The king, yeah.
Yeah, that's a common kind of recurring theme. If I've learned anything about history from these streams, which is sort of the inadvertent point rather than just, playing a game, drinking beers, and hanging out on a Friday night, which is also very good. But to almost like validate that, if I have learned anything, it's that succession rarely goes smoothly in terms of monarchies, especially in medieval times.
Yes. That's a fair observation to have made.
I think with observations like that, I could also have
Nothing
a degree
will stop
in
you.
history. Yes, I think that, there are universities right now going, give that kid a history degree. He's worked it out. He has all the answers. Successions rarely go smoothly in the Middle Ages. Medieval period, sorry. Middle Ages was before, wasn't it?
Everyone's looking at history in a brand new way now after you've said that, Joe.
It's a game changer.
Everyone's like, oh, hang on. That's the reason for all the conflict.
It's literally successions that, are not very successful. That's not like clever wordplay. It's just it just kind of has me thinking, what is the point in a clearly outlined lineage of who rules in the event of X, Y, and Z if every time X, Y, and Z happens, nobody agrees on it? It's almost like people are just waiting for someone to die so they can dispute the actual succession.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
It's like
So when he's dead,
vacuum.
his
yeah,
son
power
won't have the
vacuum.
same like respect or following or something, so we can dispute it then.
And by dispute, we mean violently with battles.
Oh yeah, I mean, get the peasant population to fight for us. Hey,
Oh.
peasants, I want to live in that castle, but I'm not allowed.
I love how you said that like you'd forgotten the peasant's name. You're like, hey, peasants. We'll just call you peasants because I've forgotten your name.
You guys down the bottom there, I
You're
want
in
to
the
live in
back.
that big castle, and this guy who's already living in the castle won't let me live in the castle. Will you help me? Yes, of course.
Because if I don't, you'll kill us. And you'll make my life very difficult because you're the landowner normally.
Yeah, because
That was-
it's
that was-
peachy right now.
Yeah.
I reckon we can. I reckon we can have these, Joe. I reckon we'll have them.
So we're still going for the Holy Roman Empire. What was our goal last time? I remember.
We're gonna
I mean,
go
the
take
overall-
this next. What was it? Something Hausen or Staufen.
Oh yeah, it had a really good name.
Oh no! Become King James the Lewd.
Ew, is that like naughty? If
It's
people,
a bit
if people,
perv.
he's been kicked off his OnlyFans.
Or he just comes out with loads of like jokes that people don't appreciate. They're like, oh, do you have to keep coming out with them? And he's like, yeah, they're funny, man. You'll get a reputation.
Could be your brother. He loves a good lewd joke, doesn't he?
That'd be King John the Blue.
The saucy. You know what? When you were forgetting the peasant's name, that reminded me of my chemistry teacher I had for like 5 years, who didn't remember
Mr.
any
Peasant.
of this. That you know what? Can't remember his name, so we'll just say he was called Mr. Peasant. Just kind of ironic because my qualm with him was that he taught me for 5 consecutive years in school, and I don't think he remembered anyone's name.
Really?
And I'm really pants with names. Like when I was a teacher, it took me donks to remember anyone's name, and I'm so bad with names and getting them confused and everything like that. It's, to be fair, I think it's harder teaching in Spain where everyone has the same name, and I'm not joking. Like, I feel like statistical variety in given names in Spain is lower than that in the UK, because you just pick a Catholic name, and you kind of have to, because when it's your saint day, you get presents as well. So if you're a family who picks a non-Catholic name, it's kind of a dick move to your kids, being like, I'm not buying you 2 lots of presents every year. You have your birthday and that's it. But that does mean you'll have a lot of just bog standard Catholic names,
Right.
which makes them very unmemorable when you've got like 7 Juans and 3 Pepes in your class. You're like, you turn around and you're like, Juan, and they're like, actually, I'm Pepe, and you're like, oh, but god damn it, Pepe, like, could you not just be called Juan like everyone else? Like, what are they,
Yeah,
I
Pepe.
knew it was one of them.
Idiot.
Yeah, change your name. Change it to Juan like everyone else clearly did when they had that big meeting that everyone was going to be called Juan.
How come they can't put the stakes down?
I do like that. I do like the name Yeoman. I know it's a job in this, right? We looked this up one time, didn't we? And I've already forgotten what it was. But we looked
It's like
up what
someone
a
who
yeoman was.
owns their own land or something.
But no one else's, which was usually the deal, right?
Yes,
Like,
if you had more than
lords
that, you
would
were
own
like a lord.
lots of people's land. Yeah. Whereas a yeoman was, I guess, a peasant who eventually got to own their own land. It's very similar to like a millennial being able to buy their own house. I think like they are. They do their utmost to stop it, don't they?
They do. No. The time for people to be able to afford to buy houses was your parents' generation. It's ended now.
It is. Yeah. It's you look at the difference. It's saddening, really, when you look at how much like people have to earn in order to own their own property, when it was like in the 70s and even 80s, at least in the UK, it was like houses cost pennies. Even like
in the 90s. It was the turn of the sort of 2000s, wasn't it? It was like 2000 to 2008. House price. Well, that was a good shot right in there. Sort of went through the roof.
And then no one could afford their mortgages because they gave everyone who couldn't afford a mortgage. Then everyone defaults, oversimplifying a very large and complex economic crisis here. But a lot of people didn't pay their mortgages.
Oh,
no one knew who owned the money, who the money was owed to, and then everyone's like, I'm never loaning money for anything, let alone house buying. If you want to buy a house, make sure you've got like tons of cash up front and a really good wage. Which is funny when banks are refusing like mortgages to kids who are like, bitch, please, my rent's triple this. Like, I afford this on a...
That does not make any sense to me. I don't know how, like, proof of paying a rent that is way more expensive than a mortgage does not count towards your mortgage application. It's kind of crazy. I think here's the proof. I'm paying more right now.
Yeah. If anything, it would be more affordable for you to give me a mortgage.
Yeah. It would actually be a lot.
Some months I'd just pay you twice just for a laugh, because I'm used to paying this kind of stupid amount for my domicile. Who's on who, by the way? That's a terribly phrased sentence. We've got the Holy Roman. We're against the Holy Roman Empire
there.
with the big trench buckets.
Broke it though.
But
pardon me, sorry for that.
But are we just fighting them in the field because of their big army, and we just want rid of them, right?
Yeah, I just can't be bothered with them sieging us.
Yeah, so we'll just go out and chin them.
Oh, there they go. One trench bucket left.
Oh well, I guess we're taking on the Holy Roman Empire, who are for all intents and purposes German, just with a fancy name. I'll open my German Pils Lager.
Pilzlager? Ja. What the hell? Who shot him? Oh man, my guy's getting rinsed.
Probably the trench buckets we were kicking them in. is actually really good, and the worst thing about it is not not that it's not bad that the battle is in our favor, but it's nice to see Negative Nelly's back with positivity this time. He's been positive the last couple episodes.
You know what? He's been. I'll give him some credit. He's been very positive recently.
We need to change his name to Positive
Paul.
Pelly. Yeah, Paul would make more sense than Pelly, I guess. Even that's a name that exists. Yeah, a nice cheeky little lager, and because normally if I buy lagers, I just buy cheap ones. You know, it's for me. Most lager is just like the beer you drink when you're going to drink quite a lot of it. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna buy a liter of beer, it's gonna be lager. Don't even worry about that decision. It's already made in my head, and it's gonna be cheap. Because once you've had a decent amount of beer, your taste goes anyway. So don't sit around 8 pints in acting like you can tell shit apart, because you can't even, like, you know, remember what someone just said to you in the conversation you're having. So don't act like you can taste all the notes in like your craft beer. And I like a craft beer or like a real ale, but there's no point in buying like nice stuff once you're shit faced. That's why like you have a kebab on the way home, because it's shit and you're not gonna remember it, or you know, a dirty takeaway pizza, because this is it's like it's a waste of your time and money to have something nice when you don't have the wherewithal to actually enjoy it. Imagine having like the most groundbreaking day of your life and then not remembering it because you were shit faced. Like no one was getting blotto out of their mind before they were going on that like Jeff Bezos space flight, were they? Imagine be like, what did you do yesterday? I think I paid 27 million for a 10-minute flight, and I got so shit-faced before it I can't even remember it. Like, you wouldn't. So
No.
I mean, different scales in terms of pricing, but I'll buy a cheap lager if I'm going to drink a lot of beer. I'll buy a couple nice ones to get started, and then I just move on to the lager.
And then once you're battered,
and once I'm battered, I just get more battered with cheap shite. It's an effective strategy, and it's done me good until...
It's an effective and affordable strategy.
It's a sound investment for the heavy drinker. I mean, we shouldn't be telling people to drink heavily. I feel like, look, just drink in moderation, and if that moderate amount is enough to get you too drunk to really tell the difference between flavors of beer, then just opt for something cheap. Like, once you've had a few, just buy the cheapest thing they offer.
Exactly.
You know, or something really, really, really expensive with a really strong flavor, like, you know, like a milkshake Neapolitan ice cream stout,
or like anything
or,
Belgian,
you know, or a top. Yeah, but even then, like, Jesus, like some of those are like,
this is a clear
holy shit! Look at that.
So syrupy.
10 to 1. That.
5 to 1. No.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
It's like closer to 200 than 100.
Yeah.
But the point stands that
we
they got
won,
whooping, and then some. But yeah, don't waste your money. But these like super strong Belgian beers, which are like really tasty, will only further worsen the cycle. You know, because they're like proper syrupy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and they'll blow your face off.
Well, yeah, exactly. You'll sit there, drink it, going, "Oh, this is nice." It's so sugary. It's like you can't even taste it's 8%, and then you've quaffed a few of them, and then
you pass out.
And well, you'd hope you would, because that's kind of like a useful defense mechanism against drinking more of it. But if you drink them that quickly before your body even knows what's hit it, it's like blitzkrieg on your liver and I guess consciousness, because very soon you will be like passed out, having just like devoured super strong Belgian beers. Word of the wise: be careful with Belgian beers.
Go out and smash them all down as quickly as you possibly can and see what happens.
That's a hashtag indie bandit truth for you right there. Who are we chinning now then?
We just chinned that Holy Roman Empire army.
Which gives us a good way to move on to Kartoffel or whatever it's called.
Staufen! Oh, yes, I was right. I just wanted
What's
to
it
yell
called?
that anyway.
Staufen.
Staufen!
I love the idea that Germans just shout all the time. And
They don't shout all the time.
God's servant.
no, sometimes they sleep, but
Oh.
Yes.
the like someone must have done like studies on this kind of crack on, like, because there's loads of like social science studies on like preconceptions and like stereotypes and stuff like that. Like
God's servant.
people will have been like, where does the angry shouting German come from? And I'd put good money on it being Hitler, even though he wasn't German. That like in the like collective consciousness,
Yeah, it will have been
Of
then,
the
won't it?
West.
Yeah.
you would have seen him doing his like the way
Doing his
the
bit,
way
bit rally.
yeah, he loved a good rally, and not just like the FIA World Rally Championship. Or big fan.
What's
Big
the pity?
Sebastian Loeb fan.
If only it had been
But,
the World IFA rally.
Imagine you wouldn't.
Hail my king.
That I don't know why, but just the idea of like Hitler being the co-driver in a Colin McCrae. just imagine like, easy right. Sorry, that's good.
God.
Yeah, they probably won't put him in any of the like latest.
No, I don't
games.
think so.
Though, you know what though, if this gets out anywhere on the internet, and I mean I know we're streaming live, but if it makes its way through certain areas of the internet, someone will make a mod. I'm sure Hitler said left and right enough times, and it was recorded, that you could put together all his audio and turn him into a rally co-driver.
That's the challenge there. There you go.
And someone will.
But some
it probably already
exists.
exists.
Got to ridicule him though when you do it. There's every possible chance
Well, I don't think
the man
anyone's
has to be
saying-
ridiculed.
Yeah, but also I don't think anyone's saying that Hitler was a good rally co-driver.
No,
or
I'm just saying, like,
co-pilot.
if you put him in, there has to be some ridiculousness to accompany
Yes, look, if you're gonna make a humorous mod for a rally game with Hitler as the co-driver or the navigator or whatever, it's got to be done as a joke. Do not use it as a tool to amass Nazis.
Yeah.
I mean, this should go without saying, but also this is the internet, so maybe it doesn't. Sometimes you're just like, guys, come on.
God, there's a never-ending
internet-
stream of Germans in this game.
The internet could be really dope if you just like stopped doing stupid shit like this. Like, turning something that could have been just a funny joke into, a recruitment tool for hate and extreme ends of the political spectrum.
I know. Go get him, boys.
What was that? Go. Yeah, no, that was the wrong accent. Go get him. No, fuck. How they say? Chocks away, skipper. Go get him, boy. No, forget it.
What are you doing, Joe?
I'm trying to do the chocks away skipper voice, but I can't remember what it sounds like, and I'm really drawing a blank as to how it sounds. And every time it
It
comes out,
sounded
it's
like
just
an
the
old
wrong
man.
accent.
Trucks away, boys.
You kids, get off my lawn.
Did somebody take my... Actually, I'm trying to think what an old man would own, that someone would steal.
Strap on.
Other than the obvious joke. God, I was trying
Other
to...
than the obvious.
was trying to reach past the obvious one.
Don't reach past it. Only a beer and a half in. It's already quite silly, James. James, stop being silly.
Can't help it. I can't do anything in this game. I'm just constantly fighting Germans.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, you idiots.
I was. You know what?
Oh shit, we're gonna attempt a night attack. Okay, we're doing that.
Is that night with a K or night without a K? Because I feel we've attempted a lot with a K.
Nah, oh man, this might be the wrong thing to do, but I don't care.
Just for the visual spectacle of night.
Yep. Oh, it's a little bit darker, but that's about it. I don't know what
I
difference
wouldn't even
this
say
makes.
this is night. I would say this is dusk, if anything.
And
or
they're
early
already
morning.
prepared. I thought like a night attack would be all like would catch them unawares and shit, but
They're all equipped.
they are fully prepped.
Yeah.
That's about as prepped as they possibly can be. I like these four brought their little cannon along. Look at them. That's...
They were
They
like,
could
well,
have gone
it's in
home.
Me, it's
Oh,
it's in
he's
me
just
night.
thrown up.
It's in me night bag.
He didn't fancy it, did he?
I just sleep with my cannon.
Right, everyone, let's just, I reckon, pile out. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pile out. Oh shit,
That was-
they're all
yeah,
just they're all
that-
just coming.
That was the idea, wasn't it? Just to gnash out whilst they were all asleep and kill
Yeah,
them.
except apparently that's not how it works.
Not an option for
If they're just gonna, are they running forward or are they just being dicks? Oh no, they're running forward.
maybe half and half. They're running forward, but also still being dicks.
Just in case it all goes terribly wrong. You
Which
guys
always
go
remains a
there.
possibility.
It does. Actually, no, I just need them there, don't I? You two can come outside.
Who's defending the gate? Which
The gate shall be
How's it-
defended by the pikemen and all
Makes
the
sense, just-
spears.
point the spikiness out forwards and then
That's it. Spiky bit goes forward. What are they? They're crossbowmen. Ah, the shitheads. Right, yous come up here.
you want to know what holiday it is today. It's a really obscure one. Oh, that dude got good. He just got absolutely wrecked by a big flaming ball from the trench bucket or something.
You did. Death
You
by
wanna hear
trench
what
bucket.
Today, the 20th of August, I'm going to tell you anyway, is World Mosquito Day.
Why on earth is that a day?
So if you're a mosquito and you're watching this, today's your day. I hope you're having a good one.
Hope you're having a cracking day, all the mosquitoes.
It's a lot of buzz about this one.
Oh,
Sorry.
dear.
Has that one sting?
It does.
Right, I'm done.
It's
That's
alright.
one-
I turned your
that-
audio off ages ago, Joe.
no.
all they're doing is hearing my like slightly
responses.
yeah, like oh.
Jarring responses. And just...
Are they actually charging the actual treachery? They did. They charged the actual machine. You idiots. Alright then, get these lot. Oh, yes.
He got really quickly. No, it was World Mosquito Day because of like a discovery based on mosquitoes spreading malaria, which was like, I guess it's kind of important if you want to stop malaria, knowing how it's spread. That's why it's not to celebrate mosquitoes themselves.
Well, at least you cleared that one up, because at first I thought we were celebrating
It's
mosquitoes.
it's a terribly name, but I guess they didn't want to call it World Malaria Transmission Day.
Why don't we
which
call it
even-
like World Death to Mosquito Day?
I think that's too hateful. People don't want to get on board with that. I know, even if you don't like them. Like, I feel even people would be like reticent to like World Death to the Racists Day. I mean, it also kind of defeats the point of being anti-racism if you're gonna just like round up specific groups of people and kill them. But yeah, that's I guess it's just kind of like maybe just a bit of intrigue. If you just go Mosquito Day, what's that? I'll look it up, and I did, and then found out it was more about useful scientific discoveries rather than celebrating a somewhat annoying insect.
Somewhat is an understatement.
You know they love me, man. Remember when we were tootling around Europe on trains,
Yep.
and it seemed like I was a bit of a beacon or a lighthouse to these mosquitoes.
did
'Cause
like
you and
you.
Archie, You and Archie were like, "Oh, I didn't get bit at all last night," and I'm covered in the damn things, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? They love me. That's because I'm so sweet." I don't- There's a lot of theories about like why certain people like attract mosquitoes.
I definitely attract them. It's just thankfully for me on that trip, you were
I
there.
was more attractive.
Yeah.
Aye.
I think it's like, is it you give off more carbon dioxide? Are they attracted to that?
No,
I remember reading something about that.
because there's a lot of like the wives' tales where it's like smelly feet and stuff like that, which I can't argue against that. I do have smelly feet, but I don't know. It's like it'll be something like with pheromones or.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
I'm seeing it here. You've got a point there. Mosquitoes use CO2 as their primary means of identifying bite targets. So I guess if you have a high metabolism, would that if your metabolism's quite high, you'd be constantly churning out a lot of CO2, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I do have a fast metabolism, so.
I don't know how fast my metabolism is, but I guess they love me. I mean, so do you think that means like younger people are more likely to
I don't know.
get bitten more by mosquitoes if they, if you're a Ben and then because your metabolism's higher when you're younger and you churn out more energy. I guess you'd
Possibly,
be
yeah.
a more attractive target to mosquitoes. There was other stuff in there as well, lactic acid as well. So I guess if you work out a lot,
Victory will be ours.
I guess if you're just generally quite active, mosquitoes will
That'll
get
be
you.
what it is. I'm too shredded.
Blood types as well. Apparently blood type O attracts more than A or B and CO2, but I don't even know my blood type. I mean, I've
I
had blood
couldn't
taken.
tell you mine.
No, but if we were Japanese, we'd know it because apparently it's like huge in Japanese culture. It's like a bit like a star sign. It serves that kind. I mean, it also serves a medical purpose, but I mean culturally, knowing
What, they just know their blood types?
Well, I mean, obviously they don't know them instinctively. I assume at some point they get tested and they find out what it is. But certain
Instinctive.
certain blood types are more like fortunate or lucky, or have certain aspects to them. Not scientifically proven, obviously, just culturally, people are thought to have certain qualities based on blood type, which I think is why if you play like any Japanese fighting game, alongside like the height and the weight of the fighters, that blood type is often listed.
Really?
Yeah, I think even if you look at like character sheets for like Street Fighter, that was one of the first places I noticed it. In the Street Fighter games, they often say what the character's blood type is, whereas in like Mortal Kombat they didn't because they're not Japanese, So I guess that's a thing. Let's see. Do they have a stat? I want to look for like a Street Fighter wiki, but I'm also worried that it'll just be like far too granular. Like look, I know, like this. I mean, this is the advantage of having a wiki, but also, at some point you're like, sweet Jesus, a whole list of like move sets and every single character move. Blood type A for Chun-Li, if you were wondering. Yes, it is listed there.
Alright. So I was wondering what
Admittedly,
Chun-Li's blood type was.
It's
The battle
A.
is very much in our favor. If we remain true and
Unsurprisingly,
steadfast, victory will be ours.
if you want to know her other measurements, they're also available on this wiki.
No.
No, I know, right? I know.
No way.
I want to see. I want to see if
Cowardly foe runs.
they probably
It's
don't
time
have
to
like the
press
3
the
sets
attack.
of measurements for a certain male characters. I'll look. I'll look though. Maybe they are like all on the gender equality. What are they? Is it bust, waist, and hips? Are the 3 measurements they take? I can't see these measurements for the male characters, but if you did want to know the dimensions of any of the female characters in Street Fighter, it is readily available on the internet for you and listed in game, which I'm assuming is where they took these measurements from.
FYI, everybody.
But it also wouldn't surprise me if someone actually took like character models and like compared pixel sizes and stuff like that to also measure it and going like, well, if she's like 5'6" and she takes up this many pixels here and this many pixels here, that means 1 pixel is this many, feet or inches. And people do it, man. People have worked out the height of like Mario based on like common objects he stands next to. And
It's a worthwhile
like,
endeavor.
Look, I've watched the videos on it, so you know what I mean. It was, and I wasn't the only person who did. I'm guessing like people like, I wonder how tall Mario is. I will watch this this 10-minute video, YouTube video on it.
All right.
I think Mario's height was a game theory.
Oh,
thing,
there you
which
go.
is,
There you go.
That's a little more than 10. Oh, that's like 20 to 1, just under 20 to 1, I guess, because 50 to 1,000 would be 20 times.
Smashed. I'm battering the Holy Roman Empire.
Well, this is what we wanted. We wanted some damn battering. Well, that was a lot to get whooped as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Wait, there's another one? Where are they all coming from? Right, you know what? This is just silly. Silly. Stop it.
Holy Roman Empire, stop being so silly.
It's very silly now. Stop it. Get another one of them. Then we'll have a little dandit. Right, okay, hang on. This is, forgot we're supposed to be taking all of the dudes over, aren't we?
Badly
Right.
phrased sentence, James.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're taking the dudes.
Take those dudes.
If you are the enemy's
You know what I saw the other day? I mean, you don't, but the pointless. I hate
A
starting.
squirrel.
Oh, I haven't seen the squirrels for a while, actually. Out on me walks. A couple weeks ago, I did. And
Stray
they were doing
dog.
alright. Also, yeah, after a couple of days ago, I did see a stray dog. Also, stray cats, quite common around here. But no, none of the above. It's I mean, yes, all of the above, but also that's
The
not
enemy lays siege, sire.
what,
We
what I
must
saw the other
prevail.
day. Oh god, I can't even remember what I saw the.
Oh my god.
You made us forget. This is how good it was gonna be. That I've forgotten what it was. Ah,
Sire, we bring the
it's been a long
battle to
week.
the enemy.
Shall I tell you what I saw the other day? It's not
Yeah.
the shortest story because I need to explain it so you understand the context of it.
Good,
It's
but I
not-
also
it's not
remembered
super
what I
long,
saw.
though.
But do go on and I'll finish. No, go on with your story, and then once you're done
Are you
with yours,
sure?
I'll tell you mine because it's much. Yeah, mine's
Okay.
much shorter and less impressive. So go with yours.
Deed
Okay.
first, foul.
Oh, God's
Someone's
sake.
opened our gates to the enemy. We must rally
Those
our
bastards opening our gates.
They're always opening the gates.
Mother truckers.
Right. Oh man, they're right here as well. Right, hang on. I'll just get set up and then I'll tell you the story.
Or should I tell you mine in the short?
Yeah,
in the
go on.
short
Yeah,
time
you do
between
that.
them?
Yeah.
So, out on one of my walks, so where I usually see squirrels and crack on like that, right? And occasionally you pass other people, and sometimes you pass tourists. And you know when we're playing Siege, I was gonna call it Call of Duty Siege, which is like, would upset so many people.
Except
there'd
for
be
all
so
the
much
people that
venom.
literally play the game like it's Call of
Like
Duty.
it's Call of Duty,
Our
except for
enemy's
them.
ladders have reached our walls.
So you know how
It's
there's
time for
those
butcher's
man
blood.
traps? I guess they would be.
Mm-hmm.
They're
The
called
bear-
welcome
the bear
mats in the
traps.
game. We call them the bear traps, right? Yeah, because I guess That's due to Archie's inability to call anything by what it's actually called. In the same way I forget the names of everything and just replace them with like semantically similar things, Archie's ability to name anything what it actually is like phenomenal. So I saw a guy with a t-shirt for a bar that was literally called the Bear Bar. Now, if you know anything about LGBT culture plus culture, there's too many letters now, but if you know anything about that culture, which we do because that's why we were laughing that they were bear traps, this dude had a t-shirt for a bar that was literally called a Bear Bar, and I mean like B-E-A-R, bear. And,
right, okay.
and look, he wore it well. This man was a magnificent bear specimen. Like, I saw him and I'm like, yep, that makes sense.
You're not dressed up as a
sense.
bear, is he? Am I missing something here? I'm not too clued up on.
No, I meant a large, hairy homosexual. As in, like, the terminology.
Yes.
I was
Okay.
like,
Yeah. Sorry, I was.
that's
yeah.
the bear I'm kind of talking about. It's like so-and-so's bear bar. No, I don't think they have bars for bears, as in the animal.
Shame.
I mean, they might. I bet you that, there's some far reaches in the world where they have. On the record, you would go to a bear bar. I mean, that feels like a dangerous choice.
Oh, but I'm assuming if it's an
ethically dubious choice as well.
I'm assuming if it's if this bar is for bears, that the bears have become somewhat domesticated, and they're just out enjoying a drink.
True.
That's what I was going for.
I was thinking more they'd be like awful circus-like places where you'd just
Oh
be like,
no.
Where it would just be animal mistreatment. Yeah. No, I assume the bar on this dude's t-shirt wasn't for a kind of place that mistreats animals. Anything favors the bear. But yeah, I was like, that's
Fortune
excellent.
favors the bear.
Yep. And I actually really, I was like, I kind of wanted the t-shirt myself. I was just like, I honored his confidence to just like walk around with such a like loud and potentially controversial statement on his chest. Like you shouldn't have anything to fear. Do you know what I mean? But I actually like really, I kind of like really respect that he was just walking around with being like, here I am, bare and proud. Fucking deal with it. It's on my t-shirt. Also, dude was massive, so if he looked like he could.
It's gonna take a brave homophobe
himself
to go up and have a go at him.
Yeah, and I would argue that there are no brave homophobes.
No.
If your life essence is wasted, like hating people for what they do, often privately, with no bearing on your existence, then you have no bravery whatsoever.
No.
So yeah, but yeah, I saw a bear in the wild out on my walk. So I didn't see any squirrels, but I did see a bear roaming the hills whilst I was out walking, and he was a magnificent, proud bear, and good for him. Live your truth.
Totally.
How many bears are in your story?
0 bears.
Just all otters
one,
and twinks.
but a mysterious bird.
Sounds like so much weird innuendo. Go on then. I hope it's like the first episode of Pokemon when Ace sees Ho-Oh flying away, and he's like, "What is that bird?" I'll have to wait 4 seasons before I find out.
No, we don't know what was going on, but we have our theories. My theory's better than Krista's, definitely, because mine's more whimsical.
Theory. Nice.
And I find the more whimsical the theory, the better the theory. But anyway, that's to be decided at the end of the story. So we're on our way home from the shop, and
the biggest of shops.
Not today. This was not today. And there's one of those temporary lights in the road, where like it's not supposed to be there, but
construction sites.
Yeah.
Like.
So we come around the corner off the roundabout and pull up behind a queue of cars at this temporary lights, and not the car in front of us, but the car in front of them. All of a sudden, at the temporary lights, which, you know, you don't know when they're going to turn. This guy gets out of his car.
Whilst they're red.
Yeah. Goes to the boot of his car. Opens the boot. And for a second, we see it sort of, like, reach into the boot. And, like, what on earth is going on? The next thing we see, he is holding a bird that is wildly flapping its wings.
Was it a pheasant? Was he out, like...
No idea what it was.
Wouldn't
No,
you
could
just kill a pheasant?
No, yeah, exactly. It wasn't that. So anyway, this bird's flapping its wings. The guy goes and steps aside of his car, and sort of does the whole thing where you throw your hands up in the air, and the bird flies off. And
like a magic trick.
We were just sitting there going, "What on earth just happened?" And then we started like questioning, like, why was there a bird in this man's car, and why did he just let it go here of all places? Like, if you were taking that bird somewhere, you wouldn't just like let it go in the middle of the road. So my theory is that they were driving along with their window open, and a bird flew in.
And then it went through the little bit for your skis into the boot.
And then they were like,
was it a hatchback or an estate? Because that way.
I think it was a hatchback. Just hatchback.
All right, so it could go straight into the boot.
But I just love the idea that the family inside the car were panicking until they got to this.
As everyone does when there's a bird somewhere.
When a bird just randomly flies into your car, and
birds
then
anywhere in small spaces or like you've had a bird in your house, like it suddenly becomes chaos. Do you know what I mean? Like, look. I've been places where there's tons of fucking pigeons and there's not a bother. The second there's one single bird in your living room, fuck me, you think that you'd think there was a bomb about to go off, wouldn't you? Like, get out, usher it to the window,
quick!
And I'm one of these people that gets like weirdly like scared in moments like that where you like, I don't know.
I don't mind birds.
Because no, I don't mind birds either. But once they're in like a room. In like your living room, you don't know what to do with them, and your brain, like my brain, just kind of goes, "I don't know what to do with this creature, and I don't know how it's going to react because it's not in a space I'm used to seeing it in." So I'm suddenly like, "Oh shit, what's going to happen?" I was very much the same with like bats in rooms as well. Like once a bat gets in somewhere, I'm like, can you fuck off now? You know what? I'm gonna leave the window open, and I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna come back in half an hour, and I'm gonna peek around the door in case, you know, the bat decides to dive bomb my face the second I open the door, which I don't know much about bat behavior.
Bats I would be a bit more freaked out about, because I feel like
bats are creepy.
They are creepy
because they fly around the like the light bulbs in your room. They also cast an awful shadow that does like big like circuits of the entire room. If you get me, because they do loops around about the height of a light bulb.
They're kind of
which
like
means
super fragile as well, aren't they? I mean, I know birds are as well, but just bats, I don't know. I feel like that's like an accidentally kill a bat by accident.
I'm not worried about. I'm more worried about them killing me, which is not really logical at all because they serve like no risk. But I'm not a big fan of the whole flapping thing. Like I just don't like things flapping about us. So like, you know, even a butterfly farm I find really annoying. Even though like butterflies are like out in nature, beautiful and cute, and it's like, oh look at this beautiful butterfly, and look it's landing on a flower. Let's get me macro lens out and take a photo or whatever, some shit like that. And then butterfly farm in a fucking like tunnel, and I mean like a plant tunnel type thing, you know, something like that with tons of butterflies is like my idea of hell. Just all this shit flapping around me.
What about a moth then? Do you not like moths?
Look, moths are just not sexy butterflies, and I don't mean to like.
You know, apparently, right? I was watching a program years ago, and I don't think they're not common, but apparently there are more varieties and colors among moths than there are butterflies, but you never see them.
You never see them, yeah. It's a bit like bees and wasps stinging you, where everyone thinks a wasp doesn't die when it stings you, and there's actually more species of wasps that die when they sting you than bees.
Right.
So, but the problem is, that's also sort of like I think it's a misleading fact, because most of the bees and wasps that you'll see will follow the like common rule that bees die when they sting you and wasps do not. But globally, across all the species, not adjusted for numbers in each species, there's probably like tons of super rare species with very few members that don't die when they sting you, or do die and are like buck the trend. So
Yeah.
I guess in that way, the stat is probably like, it's true, there are more species of wasps that die when they sting you than bees. But really, if you think of whole numbers, there are probably more bees out there that will die when they sting you than wasps. So they're like, the fact is true in a way.
Fair enough.
But it, just skewing the data by by the different phrasings of it. But yeah, I guess the moths are probably the same thing. It's probably they're like the more populous species of coloured butterflies.
Yeah. Or more colourful than the common moth that you get, which tends to be a bit sort of brown, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, like the idea that there's like billions of moths. But the most common one is the really uncoloured one. So every time you see a moth that's added, it probably creates this kind of like cycle of falsehood as well, where it's like you might actually see a really colourful moth and just assume it's a butterfly because of your own like preconceptions about which one's more colourful.
Yeah,
Say,
possibly.
oh, look at that butterfly.
Ships ready.
It could just reinforce the errors. Did you know? Which I'm gonna go with no, because I wouldn't be telling you if I thought you did know. But in French they just call moths butterflies of the night. No. If only they call them moths. But no, they call them butterflies of the night, which I think is like awesome. On night butterflies.
That's pretty cool.
That's like the Batman of moths. But yeah, I can't remember what they call them in Spanish. It's one of those things that you don't often talk about. A bit like sneezing and yawning. These are always words that like have taken me ages to learn in a foreign language, because it's something that like you don't often think about. Then it comes up. Then you're like, what's the word for that? And they go, oh, it's this. And you go, all right, I'll remember that. And then you don't, because you don't use it again for like 3 months until like the next time you like sneeze or yawn in front of someone and go, you know what? I asked you last time.
Are you trying to give me
But this is the last time, the last time was 3 months ago. I can't remember this word.
And then you pooped.
I haven't. What a weird way to start a sentence. I was gonna say.
I haven't
don't
pooped
think
in days.
I was gonna say I don't think I've shit myself in front of foreign language speakers. As if I was like racking my brain for in case I had. Maybe I have. No, I don't think I have. Thank God.
Would they defeat this, you bitch? There was no honor there, was there?
These Egyptians are getting auto-resolved to fuck.
To be fair, that was Egyptian rebels, so not even proper Egyptians.
Not even official Egyptians.
No.
They didn't even have that, like, they didn't even have passports or shit.
Oh my god, it's a party going on in London with this lot, isn't there? Queuing up.
They're just all the movers and shakers of your monarchy. Just
Yeah, I'm going to have to
in
start
London.
distributing them across the...
Is that Spaniards still hanging out Carnarvon? Are they done? Why do they want
Hang on.
Carnarvon so much?
You can... How old are you? My god. Right, you're not that old. How old are you? Right,
These are
you're
a
young,
lot of
aren't you?
sentences you don't want
You go there.
taken out of contents.
How old are you? Okay, you're old. Right, but I need two there. Right, okay, so that's happening there. Right, who's young here? He's 19, Joe, and he's bald. Unlucky.
My lord.
Like my little brother. He's I don't think his is coming back.
Hail my king.
That got
He's,
that sounded like it was like some deep pain there. Like, oh, like me little brother.
Look, man, he's 21. I think he's 21. Yeah, he's just turned 21, man.
Bald, is he? Oh fuck me, it runs in the family. Look at this, Walter.
Runs in our family.
What the hell's happening here with this lad? He's 16. Look at him.
Aye. This is why my little brother's losing it.
He's
'Cause
16. He's proper bald.
Me dad went bald at 15. This is why my little brother's. I mean, when he was tiny, right?
Hail my king.
I tell them that gingers were dying out,
Oh, God.
right? So he misunderstood that because basically like gingerness is a recessive gene, so it's
Yes,
more
eventually
likely that
it could potentially go. Yes, yeah.
the percentage in the population will become less and less until there are none of them, and so he thought that literally meant he was dying. So for a while he was panicking about that. But I also told him that
Hail my king.
that
As you command, my liege.
hereditary baldness was a thing, and throughout primary school he would like not get his hair cut because he was paranoid it wouldn't grow back.
Glorious victory.
Jeez.
You mind me, little brother. Throughout school, we've got like you know the yearly school photos and like the fridge magnets and shit like that, and each one of them is just like a bigger and bigger mop of red hair.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And foolishly, now in 2021, he did go for a full on like shave his head thing, and now I think he's regretting it. I mean, he didn't grow his hair all the way through to like his teens. Like after primary school, he like started getting it cut and it growing back. But
Did he think he'd avoided the issue and then he cut his head?
he
He's
thought
like,
he'd missed it,
crap.
and then like, he did a classic COVID head shave, earlier this year, and I think a lot of it's not coming back, and it's receded to such a point that he's sort of really just got to like keep shaving it because there's no way to just like grow it back through. You know, like that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
There has to be a lot of hair growth for it to become a comb over, as it were, for it to be long enough to cover the front. So he has to do one of these, like, you know, forehead starts on the top of your skull and grow over it, and I don't think that's happening. So I think he's just gracefully accepted the bald.
Fair enough. At a certain point, I guess, if that's the way it's going to go, to accept the bald is far better than to cling on to whatever's left.
Yeah, I think I've had long hair, I've had shaved head. Like, I think if mine started to go, I think I'd just go bald.
I'd just shave my head as well. Me as well.
Just keep it thin.
Yeah. Right. I think right now is a good time for an intermission, Joe. Right before Mitchell
Okay.
Sandy takes out Captains Berenguel and Agosto.
It's not even Mitchell Sandy, it's Michelle. There's no T.
Michel Sandy. It's gonna go
Against
kick some
Berenguel
ass.
and Agosto.
Yeah. So
Alright.
we'll get back to that in about 5 minutes, everybody. Catch yous then.
Sounds good. Are we back to kicking ass, Jim?
We are. We're gonna jump into
Mitchell
sort of
Sandy.
battle. Michel Sandy's gonna kick some Spanish ass right here.
Glory to your name.
Berenguel
sire.
and Agosto
The attack.
are about to learn what's for.
Feel
Even
the
though-
wrath of
look.
Michel.
Jesus, will they just like leave Carnarvon alone? Like, it almost feels like since the dawn of time, the Spaniards have been attacking Carnarvon with
Yeah.
no success.
I know, like terrible results.
Or do you reckon it's the AI picks does a bit of like map finding or route finding, and obviously they're leaving from like northern Spain and wanting to attack us, and that is like
That's just
the
the
beeline
area.
to our territory. Yeah. Like, it's
Yeah.
probably the shortest route. It's probably like a straight line from like northern Spain, if they have any cities up there like Bilbao or something like that.
Bilbao.
I knew you were gonna do that. I have no idea. I was like, he's gonna say Bilbao in a sort of Spanishy way.
Bilbao. Hey, Mr. Bilbao.
Welcome to the Indie Bandits Friday Night Racism stream, where we impersonate all of the people of around the world terribly.
Only the ones that attack us.
So we'll only impersonate those who have had some gripe with the English throughout
Yeah.
history.
If I have to constantly defend Carnarvon, I'm allowed to do stupid accents. That's my reasoning behind all of this.
I'd love that to be on like a gravestone. I'm allowed to do stupid accent. It's on every gravestone in Carnarvon. If I have to defend Carnarvon, I get to do stupid accents.
And they'll all be like, well, to be fair, he did say that.
God, he did say that a lot. Rhys Jones, or whatever, of Carnarvon. So I'm glad they put that on his tombstone, because he did often say, if they're going to keep attacking Carnarvon, I'm going to keep doing stupid accents.
That's the deal. You can attack. I'm allowed to do dumb accents.
But I get to impersonate the way you speak.
I get to make a grossly exaggerated version of the way you talk.
I honestly have no real gripes with impersonating accents, because it's just like the rich tapestry of language. So
Yeah, I couldn't give a shit.
like it's just kind of, to me, it's humorous, and solely that I think is fine. Obviously there's a different point where you start like impersonating accents and then making assumptions about a person based on their accent, which further extends into nationality and or race, where it becomes problematic. But I think generally just being like, they pronounce words different to us, isn't that funny, can we all just laugh at that, I think it's fair game.
Yeah,
because
sometimes it's
even
funny. We do it within English language.
Even within, exactly, that's my follow-up point. Even within language, we have people who can't agree on how things are pronounced or said, or which grammatical rules should be followed. So really,
Constantly
as long
taking
as
a
you're
look
not
at each
making
other
a
in England.
judgment, exactly, as long as you're not making a call, you know, like a judgment, or like based on prejudice about someone, and you're just like, it is humorous to me that you pronounce something differently to me, especially when misunderstandings ensue, because that is funny. Like, I like the idea that like most of the vowels in Geordie sound the same, especially A and E. You know, like,
Yeah.
it, like that could lead to humorous misunderstandings, especially if you need to go to A and E. I'm guessing it's you know, it's very clear to us, but I know that like no voice recognition software can clearly distinguish between the letters A and E when I say them, which is fine. It's humorous. It's the, you know, it's the way we talk. It's not the way other people talk, even within our language and across other languages. It's humorous, especially when it sounds like other words. The whole like shit sheet thing is hilarious. Like,
Victory will be ours.
you know, it's very funny to hear someone talking about something and it sounds like something rude or dirty when they have like no intention of saying that. And it's all very innocent and fun, and you know, no one gets hurt. It's just like, do you know, given the language you grew up learning, when you try to pronounce this in your foreign language, it sounds like something else to a lot of native speakers. And that is humorous because you wouldn't normally want that. Like, there you go. Like, no one's hurt. Everyone's fine. Fucking calm down and get on with your lives.
Yeah.
However, like, that is a whole different kettle of fish to I don't know how I stand on the whole like Apu in the Simpsons thing. Like, that's too much of a can of worms to open.
Yeah, that's always
like,
been a bit of a contentious one.
It's kind of like think that's more so because of like the inference. Beyond that, like if Apu was just an Indian person and they were doing the accent typical of someone who is Indian, that would be fine. But I think it's also the fact that his character has a lot of stereotypical elements to him.
Yeah.
Is why it becomes problematic. Like, the fact that he works in a convenience store and then gets like arranged married and has loads of kids is like, yeah, makes it almost like, well, you could have at least paid an Indian guy to do the voice then, because that just like, it gets a bit stinky. But on the other hand, it's not like every other character in The Simpsons is also like race accurate or even not a stereotype. It feels like every character in that show is a stereotype. So
Oh, definitely.
Our men are winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash
but just the existence of the Indian accents is not what's offensive. Like, this is not. So that's the point I want to make. That it's that impersonating an accent. I think of just saying I had a conversation with an Indian person and he sounded like this. That's fine. Trevor Noah does like an excellent number of bits on different languages and accents, and he speaks a few languages himself. And he says,
How many times does the posh English accent get used as like a derogatory way of like impersonating a Brit? Like, I don't care about that.
Yeah. Though it's like, then you could argue it's damaging to those people who do speak that way, and it's kind of like, I mean, admittedly, we get it. I mean, you know,
Do they care?
we're white
I don't
and
think
we're
they
male,
care.
so it's all very harmless to us. It's kind of like, ugh, yeah, we're very rarely on the receiving end of prejudice and abuse, so it's very hard to speak from that perspective. So it's almost like it's very easy to have a laugh and joke about us because we're not abused or persecuted or any of all that bad shit. So like Homer walking into the room where it's like, I'm a white male, aged 25 to 45 or whatever. Everyone listens to me.
Only
You know,
half
it's
the enemy
like,
force
yeah.
remains.
Yeah. But yes, it's also, I think it's also very important to think about whether or not the intent was there. Like,
Yeah, because you
could
could
be
find anything
damaging.
offensive. There are jokes that, like, are obvious
Yeah.
jokes that people could easily take offense to. Almost any
someone
joke,
could
actually,
flip
because the
around
idea behind
all
a joke
jokes
is
about subverting
yeah,
expectations.
pretty much anyone could get offended by any joke.
I do like anti-jokes though, you know, where you're getting set up for a joke and then you say the thing that would actually
It's just the
happen.
actual answer. Yeah. Have you seen the Bernard Wright on the politically correct comedian?
No.
He's
But
like,
is
an
he
Englishman,
just saying,
Irishman,
like,
Scotsman went into a bar went into a bar and had a
they had a great
fantastic
time.
evening.
Yeah, they had a great time and just shared some drinks. Yeah.
And there's like there was a Muslim, a Jew, and someone else went out to what an excellent oh man, I've
example of
ruined it.
multiculturalism.
Yeah, something like that. What an
isn't it?
excellent
Yeah,
example of modern multiculturalism.
Yeah. What's the one in the most recent Bo Burnham thing, which is fantastic. I'm a huge
He's the
fan.
raven in the archway, Joe. Look.
Yeah. They're living it up. Yeah, he has this thing. He has this whole song about him doing comedy whilst we're in the middle of like a pandemic and all this shit, and there's like, obviously it's all very tongue-in-cheek about how he's saving the world with his comedy because everything's really shitty and people just need an outlet to laugh. But there's just one line. He goes, a Jew walks into a bar
By St.
and I've
George,
saved him a
our men have
seat.
slain the enemy general. Now our cowardly foe runs.
That's the whole
It's
line.
time
It's
to
like,
press
it's
the
brilliant.
attack.
Like, I do like the idea that like comedy has become so like cliche at points where you've actually got to just like, you've got to like re-subvert the whole like expectation. But like that like the comment is harmless because you think it's gonna be awful, and it's just man, it's like the intent is for me it's the most important thing. Like, this person got a stand-up comedian gets on stage, and I like to think that most of them are getting up there and they're just like, I am going to make people laugh. This is my purpose for the next like 90 minutes or whatever. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna do my show, I'm gonna say things, and I hope these things that I say will make people laugh. And I feel that's like their sole purpose, and in that, like, in both senses, in that theater, the intent is mostly not to rally a bunch of racists or lunatics or anything like that. It is just to like to get a bunch of people who paid them some money to giggle and leave the venue happier than they arrived. Like that is their that's their job and that's their purpose. So the intent is very important. Like there's a difference between
Well, it's
a
absolutely
stand-up.
crucial.
Well, yeah, it's like
The enemy are badly bloodied.
this is why there was a
lost
huge
half their
difference
men.
between Trump making jokes at his rallies to a stand-up comedian. A stand-up comedian could fully make the same jokes, and I would be like, not at all offensive. But when you watch like politicians using their rallies as if they were stand-up shows, I'm like, yeah, but the thing is, when you're done with a stand-up comedian, you leave their show and you're like, that was a laugh. You don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
Whereas when you leave a political rally and the candidate's been up there making jokes and all that shit, you're like, that joke's funny. Also, it carried a point about how I should vote. Like, no. That's where it's like, no, that wasn't a joke. That was a clever way to make you have a giggle at the expense of some idea of the other, maybe. You know, like,
Yeah.
This is a clear victory that goes to
this person wanted you to leave going, that is true. They are like that, and I don't like them. Do you know what I mean? Now I'll vote for this guy because he understands how I think these jokes
He's
are funny.
incited my hatred.
That is completely it for me. Was the person trying to get you to hate other people with their joke, or were they just trying to get you to crack a smile and laugh? Because if it's the former, then it's not a joke. It's
dangerous. It's hate speech.
It's hate speech. Yeah. And if it's the latter, then you're watching a comedian and they're a bit risque. Like,
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais is a huge proponent of this, where it's like all comedy is valid.
Yeah.
You
And
don't
I
have to
agree with him.
it, and you don't have to watch it. Go elsewhere, change the channel. Obviously, if you're using your comedy as like a vehicle for hate and political ideologies, then yeah, maybe.
Well, that's not really a
Maybe
comedian
you're not a
anymore. That's
comedian,
just
no.
it's an angry person.
Propagandist. Yeah. They don't all have to be angry, James. That's the misconception about the middle-aged white man.
Look at this wall of priests I've got, Joe.
Sounds gross, but yeah.
But now Alexandria is 80% Catholic, so
It's having a great time.
this guy,
When
Jacob of
Catholicism
Berwick.
ever hurt anyone?
By the way,
When
how
Jacob-
far is Jacob of Berwick from home? But he's making us 196 gold per turn with his import of sugar.
How do you get sugar in Berwick?
He didn't. He got it from Alexandria and he's importing it back.
Ah, right. Sorry. I thought he was there importing it into Alexandria. Yes,
Gonna
that
get some
makes more
cotton
sense.
as well, I reckon. Cotton or more sugar. We'll see which one's got worth the most.
They keep saying that, but we ain't going nowhere.
Nope.
Away with you, offer a treat. Yes.
Stop it.
I'm not even trying to click on them. I'm just trying to click around them, but it's... Alright, that's just ticking along.
I am he. Stand fast and hear the true word of God.
Alright.
Well, he seems zealous.
Face the might of the Reich. Hail, my king.
He seems like a stand-up fella.
Sire.
I'll tell you what. I mean, maybe
Orders. Sire.
it's probably just the theme of this whole game. I mean, it's historically based. It is nations and all sorts of different dafties fighting each other. This game is quite politically charged, isn't it? Just there,
Yes.
you know, thinking about what we've been talking about and probably have spoken about on other streams. It's like, I feel it's almost unavoidable. I mean, one, it's got like loads of like terribly done accents, which I think started all like
Amazingly done accents is what you're trying to say there, Joe.
amazingly done accents. Yes, and obviously it has a lot of different nations fighting each other, and it has a lot of ideologies at play. I mean, I'm almost getting a running theme that the medieval period was pretty politically charged when they weren't fighting over succession. it feels like they were definitely fighting over religion.
Hail my king,
I mean, I know
Lord.
that's the whole point of the
Yes,
Crusades,
I
etc.
Hail
But it's
my
like,
king. I look forward to hail my
Come and fight me, you
can't
coward.
listen to the Danes.
I look
oh.
forward to fighting you.
fleet right
Taste of my hot pea. It's a politically tense game for a Friday night, actually. I mean, you know.
We would ask you to lower your swords and hear
I tell you
us
what,
out.
I'll lower my swords if you give
Get
me
the
some
fuck.
trade rights and some map information.
No.
Oh
you
well,
must
fuck
send
off then.
further. Diplomacy
They are annoyed
failed
now.
us this day.
Oh my god, there's a lot of screaming going on right now.
That would just be people just dying left, right, and center.
I'm gonna take Staufen, Joe. I'm taking it. I'm taking Staufen.
Are we doing it? Are we actually gonna?
We are
have a
sieging
stream in which-
Staufen.
Are we gonna actually
What?
finish a stream doing what we set out to do?
Have you seen that? I'm not allowed to attack Portugal. Portugal's well within their rights to blockade the port of London. Sure, that's fair.
ships.
I wonder if he's Portuguese by any chance, the new pope. I'm just going to build a massive fleet and just go around wrecking everyone's fleets. That's what I've decided.
Is that allowed? Or
Hail
are you just
my
gonna
king.
piss off the Pope?
Piss the pope right off, bitch.
If it is the fight you wish, come
They just
closer.
called the Pope a little bitch. And I'm like, this game's quite politically charged, isn't it? You're like, Pope's a little bitch.
He's been a little bitch. He's acting in the manner of what one would consider to be a bitch.
Right, look. Like what you said, right? Like you said, you got right down in the nitty gritty in the semantics of that sentence, which I also do in arguments where it's like, when you like your piss is just proper boiling and you want to say, your brain is going, call them X, Y, and Z, call them X, Y, and Z, and then like your slightly less monkey brain takes over. Mine always goes, tell them that acting like X, Y, and Z, because you can always pedal back on that one when they're like, I can't believe you called me an X, Y, Z. I'm like, I did not. I said your current behavior was akin to X, Y, and Z, if we're going to be technical. And I chose those words very carefully, just in the event that this conversation would come up, which is normally immediately after having said it. If you ever had an argument last night, you are acting like a right. Say, how dare you call me? I'm like, I did not call you that. I said you were acting like someone who would be called that. Just to make it, just so you know, like it's pedantic and it's
let's go for
it
it.
is, it's the
Muster
semantics of
your
this
courage, men.
of
We
this
march
sentence.
into
But yes,
battle.
Pope, I didn't call you a little bitch. I just said you were acting. Like
You
a
are
little
acting
bitch.
very much in the manner
of a little bitch.
of a bitch.
Of a little bitch.
Yes.
Which, what does that even mean? I mean, we all know what it means, and you know what? It's moved on so far to be from being an actual derogatory term for women. I think that's also something people need to accept. There's a lot of words that like have awful roots. Most of them do. Most of the powerful ones do, especially linguistically speaking. All the powerful words are like, they are so powerful because of their roots. That doesn't mean we can't take them and use them in other contexts to slate the Pope.
And many pope slating will be occurring as well.
Especially if he keeps telling us not to fucking go after the Portuguese. Like,
Not to go after the
when
people that are actively being
Attacking
aggressive
us.
towards us.
Yeah.
Oh, they're allowed. Oh, no, sorry. They're allowed to attack you. Oh, sorry, I
that
wasn't
seems-
aware of the terms.
That seems fair.
I've got
Pope,
some
little
German
bitch
knights
the
here,
third.
Joe.
Some
Some
German
mercenary
knights?
German knights. Just
You mean with a K, right? Because
yeah.
because it also feels like we're attacking at night.
And then King Jimmy's massive bodyguard. Oh, look at that, man. What a glorious bunch. Ready to kick some ass in the name of me. Let's go.
King Jim.
Everybody attack various sections of wall now.
I love the idea that that was the instruction. All right, guys. When it
Ooh.
starts, you'll want to all attack various sections of wall.
Look at the nice mountains in the background. I like Staufen.
I was I mean, Staufen's probably not in the right. Maybe it is. Towards it's not like Alsace and Westphalia. It's probably like further south of that. I mean, we're thinking it's near Bavaria, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh, nah, me guys are getting killed.
Because I was looking at the first written record for the
Jesus
Easter
Christ.
Bunny. I know, odd. Don't ask about my Google search history, but there was a German account in which the guy literally says, in Alsace and these regions around West Germany, we tell children and idiots that a hare laid these eggs, and adults make them go look for these eggs for their own amusement. That is the history and origin of the Easter egg hunt. If you're wondering, they were just like, let's get these kids and idiots running around looking for eggs, and we're gonna tell them a hare, because the Easter Bunny was initially a hare, not a rabbit. We're gonna get them running around looking for them. What a bunch of divs. But it's weird that he was so specific that it wasn't just children. It was like children and idiots.
But mainly idiots.
Like, you know what? Whichever's funniest, we'll have them run around looking for eggs that will tell them. And get this, were laid by a hare. Mammals don't lay eggs, with the weird exception of the platypus.
The best mammals do.
They have a special classification for the platypus as well. It's dead weird. Like, the levels of weirdness from a platypus are just like unreal.
They are
Like,
adorable though. I'll give them that.
They look class. They look like someone was playing Spore and just didn't give a fuck. Remember
Oh
Spore?
my god, I remember that game, yeah.
I
That
bought
didn't.
it. Well, I didn't.
It did
I
not
didn't
hit the
buy it.
heights though, did it? That we thought. It's one of those games that very much flattered to deceive.
Because it had everything that was in that explanation of what it was and what it did, and nothing else. Like,
Yeah.
it was literally like the tech demo that his name escapes me, guy who did The Sims. Anyway, the demo they showed of that, where it was like going from microorganism to
The Lord is with us today.
interstellar species, was really cool. But that was that they literally showed you everything. It was a very like premature display of what that game could do, and literally I think players discovered that that was all there was to it, which is a shame, because I still kind of liked the game, but it was just like 5 mini games. Like, that was it. It was just 5. It was like, it was watered down Pac-Man, it was watered down this, it was watered down Civ, you know, like had all these phases. It was watered down Populous. Like, that was the sort of phases you started as.
Populous
like,
was a good
Pac-Man.
game.
Again, yeah, but like these like sort of like, it was a lot of like watered down versions of these strategy games, and that was it. So it just wasn't very good at any of them. Admittedly, the like zooming out and it like using that as a way to like load the different menus, so you could just zoom out from like a town all the way out to like a star system, was really cool, and it was like one of the first times I'd ever seen that. I actually bought a computer based on the specs to run that. The game had not long been out, and I'd actually just had my laptop stolen, and I needed to buy a new computer. So when I was looking at the specs, I was like, I wanted to have the specs to run Spore. It's like, that's going to be my benchmark. If I can run Spore,
You're a
that'll
happy
do
man.
most of what I need. Yeah. Then I bought Spore with it. So I bought the computer and Spore. Played Spore quite a bit actually, and had a good laugh with it. But yeah, eventually it's like, it's very the entertainment's very front loaded. Like, you get everything you're gonna get out of it very early on, and then be like, ah, that's cool. Look at this creature looks like a dick. Oh, look, I've just met planets of other creatures that look like dicks, because the whole game was like sort of, it would populate your game with other players' creations and stuff like that. I think it had like all sorts of like weird like interactivity in that, and you could go on and you could download like other people's creations, and all of them were penises. They're just penises with eyes, penises with fins, penises with like webbed feet. Like, yeah,
Penises.
it's the internet. You've been there. A lot of penises. Shame though, because I think as a concept, it's kind of like really cool, and I still think The Sims is really enjoyable. This is like one of these games that I'm just like, do you have like a flow state game, as it were? You know, a game where it's like none of it really matters, but you just want the escapism for a bit.
That one, the Mars one, what's it called?
Surviving Mars.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
that one
game's
for
excellent.
that.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of those games where it's just like, you can just kick back and relax playing that game.
It doesn't really like, it doesn't kill you if you fail. All it does is like shrinks you down back to step one. If you get me, like,
Yeah.
it's not like there's never a point where you're like out of money or anything. You'll always just have like one thing that you can't sustain the larger civilization in that game, right? But you just have to recede back to square one.
Yeah.
But it's not game over. You still have all the tech and all that shit, and yeah, that game was really cool actually. I need to go back and play that. But the Sims for me is one of those as well. Like, and I'm like, I am not a aspirational Sims player. I make a little version of me, and I make him really successful. Gets up and he runs his life in the kind of like sensible way I wish I could run my own. Where it's like, go to bed early, get up, do a bit of reading, do a bit of exercise, go to work in a really good mood because you slept well the night before and you didn't stay up later than you should have playing like Rainbow Six Siege or and then he gets a promotion at work, and then he goes home, and then he does a bit of exercise, and then he does a bit of reading, and then he does a bit of something that's both like entertaining and stimulating for him, so that he's he doesn't feel like bored, but also he improved his logic skill, which he needs to get the next promotion at work, and now he's an astronaut. There you go. And he's done with being an
And
astronaut.
that's
So
how
he's just
that's
gonna
done.
and he's just gonna start a new career, and he's gonna hit the top of that career, and it's gonna be fine. And yeah, it literally just goes in a cycle like that. And I min-max the whole thing to just like try and like make the character as successful as possible, and I find that very rewarding. I like optimizing processes and making them better, and going, how can I do this better? How can I do that better? And I don't think that's the archetypal Sims player. I think a lot of them are like, what kind of like crazy emergent stories can we get out of this?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like, the two ends of that kind of spectrum, which I think also occurs when we play D&D. I think that's also a thing. There's you have players that want to do the quest and want to do it well, and then you have players that just want to watch the world burn and see how much they can get out of like the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, which is totally fine. Like, everyone's way of playing is valid, but it's not conducive. Either side has like sort of like different objectives, and I think, and I've watched like a lot of video on this because since I usually DM or D&D sessions, finding that balance is like super tough, and there are like tons of videos like videos online, like D&D Beyond and all this stuff. They have like loads of stuff and like resources on like how you like balance the different player types, and how do you make it so that it's fun for everyone, which is like nails, which is, I'm guessing, what every game designer has to do. Like every time they make, especially if you're making something like The Sims, you're like, it has to be fun for the weirdos like Joe that want to just like just want to make that guy get up, go to work, go home, read a book, and then go to sleep, but have tons of money and live in a massive house with corners he rarely goes to. And the people who want to like get everyone to go for a swim and take the ladders out of the pool so they drown. You know what I mean? Like, we need a game that works for all of them, and I think Sims managed that like iteration after iteration. So you can just go back to it and be like, yeah,
battle is very much in
There's
our
something for
favor.
everyone in this.
If we remain true and
Definitely.
steadfast, victory will be ours.
I don't think Surviving Mars has the bandwidth for the chaotic evil though. I just don't think someone who wants to just like watch the world burn will be given the tools in that kind of game.
Probably not.
Because the game punishes you too quickly if you start getting it wrong. As I said, it's like it's not a game over state, but you know it doesn't have a kind of, unless you do, I guess, like an infinite money cheat or something like that. You know, it doesn't have that kind of range in it. Whereas like with The Sims, if someone dies, like haha, I'll just have my character start shagging someone else from the street. I don't mean like they can shag homeless people if they want. Really, that's each to their own. But yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, I'll just invite the other neighbor around rather than like this person died in my pool. Like, yeah, all right. You can be weird like that in The Sims, but you can't in something like Surviving Mars. Though it is a class game. Like you mentioned, that makes me want to go back to it.
Yeah, it's good fun.
There's a few of them though. I think there's not just Surviving Mars, but a few very similar like. I mean, management sims. I guess they are strategy and management sims. There is a. I've just been playing a load of that. It's called 100 Days, and it's just a management sim for a wine distillery. No, that's whiskey. Vineyard. Sorry. And there's a very small story thing in it. There's like a whole narrative as to why like you're at the vineyard and why you've taken over this vineyard. That ends really quickly. Actually, I was having a cheeky session on it before we played there, and I actually finished the story mode. So the story mode's kind of like a really long tutorial, and the story's sort of fine. Wasn't that engaged with it, but I wasn't there for a story. But it has a sort of like visual novel bit to it as well. But literally, it's kind of a sort of a puzzle game / management sim game where you make wine and you run your little business to like sell the wine, and you make a good wine, it sells better, and that gives you more money to buy more stuff to make better wine and more of it, and it's that kind of like nice little like
Battle is very much in our favor. If we remain
business
true and
sim
steadfast, victory
kind
will
of
be
game.
ours.
Like, I highly recommend it, especially for like zen out. I mean, especially once you're done with the story. I'd say the story's probably an hour at most. Like you can play this game and be done with the story, and then it can just leave you to it. So
Cool.
if you want to like a zen game, that's like it feels like it has a lot of like board game aspects to it as well. Maybe
Nice.
there's a few aspects where it's your like plot of land is done with like different like Tetramino-esque tiles. So you've got to like put the little pieces down for each turn and fit them. So there's a little jigsaw aspect to it, and you can expand your little like area in which you can put these pieces in. So the bigger the area, the less trouble you'll have fitting in all the like different Tetris-esque pieces into the land each turn.
Cool.
So every activity takes like different numbers of tiles and a different orientation of tiles, and you've got to like fit them in, and then also do the wine, and then like, you know, it's a management sim. There's like sliders and stuff, and you're like, oh, more of this, less of that. And then you're like, oh man, I thought I'd got that right, but no, I haven't. No one likes this wine. It's not going to sell very well, and everyone loves this one. It's going to sell really well, but do I want to sell loads of it to a supermarket at like a discount rate, or do I want like individual customers to come in and pay like double the price? Which will get me the most out of my stock?
Yeah.
Which like all of I love all of those games. Like any kind of like business management sim, I'm like all about.
I found that like Surviving Mars is a really good game, but definitely at a certain point, you do feel like you've like figured it out. And the longer the game goes on, the less of a challenge it is because you are doing kind of so well at that point.
Well, also, I think all of them hit that. I think City Skylines will hit that as well, where it's like, you know what, everything's working at the minute. How much do I want to expand? Do you know what I mean? Because it always has this thing where it's like, you don't want to upset the balance. That's what a lot of these like games rely on, is like you finding the balance, and then you've got to kind of upset the balance to grow. And it's almost like, well, some of them do it well so that there are like objectives to achieve. You know, like the city builder sims tend to do this well because they say like you need to reach X population. But yeah, with Surviving Mars, it was kind of like, yeah, I've got everything working. Do I just do that all again? You know what I mean? Like you would make extra colonies, wouldn't you? And it would be like, yeah, now I'm just gonna repeat what I did elsewhere on the planet, but with all the resources and all the tech. And also I've got tons of money, so all I'm gonna do is like, yeah, all right, this bit of land's harder to colonize, but I can just ship in loads of drones to like survey the entire place, right? You would have things like that. You could literally just like survey an entire map with tons of drones like sent in from Earth or from a different shipping port and be like, yeah, smashed it, right? Now I know exactly where to build, what to do, and I'll just replicate the thing I've already done elsewhere on the planet. And I think that was the kind of loop once you hit that. So,
Exactly, yeah.
But I find with most of those games, the beginning is often way more fun than like the mid to late game.
Like, yeah, the getting established bit.
It's always the fun bit of all of these games. The number of times I'll like just restart a save because I'm like, I'm in a rut now. I'm just in routine, and I like the bit at the start where you're like fighting for resources and stuff like that. And that happens with all of them, with Surviving Mars, with City Skylines, SimCity, whatever. Even with the Sims, it's like it's more fun when the person's just started and they have skills to gain. Once you've like maxed them all out, you're like, yeah, this is a bit boring now. But you know, so some people will just like will really vibe with that, and just will play like an endless mode of these kinds of games, or even just still get enjoyment out of just having built a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and at that point, it's like that's what you were saying before, like one of those relaxed
Super
games where you just
satisfying,
kind of like
yeah.
just chilled out, kind of just keep playing it.
Once you're in the flow state, the one more turn at the end of Civ, once you've literally beaten everyone and there's nothing at stake, and you just like,
Yeah, I was starting to say Civ is
I
definitely
just
one
want
of those
every
games.
I want every color, I want every corner of the map to be my color, so it's fine. I'm just gonna head over here and know that and kill everyone. But yeah, it's. I mean, there's definitely like a time and place for them. But I think this is the same for all games. Like, I think anyone who sits and like says like, yes, you have preferences, but I think, you know, only a Sith deals in absolutes. Don't sit down and be like, I'm X type of gamer. I don't even call yourself a gamer. You probably, there's more to you as a person and personality than just the fact that you play games. Like, you can be somebody who plays games, but like I personally, I don't like the term gamer. It's just like, you're just a person who plays games. There's probably more to you than, you don't have to identify as that. Just, you play games, you enjoy them. There's probably lots of games you play, there's lots of games you don't play. Like, you probably think that you like one type of game, but I'm very much of the opinion that there's a game for every given moment and situation. And I like pizza, but I don't want to eat it for every meal, though I could happily eat it for almost every meal. You know, it's more interesting having different types of food to eat. And games are incredibly rich as well. Like, you know, we have this is a whole different kettle of fish to some like idle game I'd sit and play on my phone whilst like waiting for a bus.
Yes.
And it's not really worth quantifying which one's better than the other, because it doesn't really matter. Like,
We've
I
got
couldn't sit
Staufen,
and
Joe.
play this game, and nice, we got Staufen, but you couldn't sit and play this waiting for a bus. I mean, you probably could now on your phone. Would the experience be the same? I'd argue no. There's better games for better situations.
Victory is ours.
So everyone, like find what mood you're in and play a game. This is,
Yeah.
it's kind of what we do with like the indie stuff. Like, the problem is, indie projects are all very small and have a very limited audience, and they just need to find. They don't have the audience reach that like a AAA title would have. Like a AAA studio will find their audience very quickly because everyone will have heard about their game. So those who are interested will have heard about it. Indie devs don't have that luxury, and really, even like the most like early build, ropey looking game will have an audience out there. Like, they just need to find the people who are like up for playing their game, and I think once you at the right place, right time, finding someone who wants to play X game at X time, you have a mood for it. I didn't think I'd ever be playing a game about making wine, and then I was chinning it. You just sat there going, well, no, this would be a lie. I was gonna say I never thought I'd want to play a game like Train Simulator, except for like my entire life I wanted nothing but a game like Train Simulator. But for some people, there's no interest in that, and that's like totally fine. They get nothing out of it. Some people want like the nitty gritty and everything granular. Other people want like everything automated and it to be like the least amount of interactivity from them.
Yeah.
There's some for everyone.
There is. There's a game out there. Well, multiple games out there for everybody.
The idea, if someone says if someone says they don't play games, I kind of think they mightn't like most games, but there's definitely something out there. I feel like if gamers was a thing, there are non-gamers who have definitely found a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone, like even your parents have probably at some point there's been a game. Maybe not a computer game.
Oh no, my dad loves the Total War series.
Yeah. And I remember growing up, your dad had all the, was it Bridge Too Far and all that crack on?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's an RTS fan, definitely.
Yeah. For a while, my mom was obsessed with Tetris on my Game Boy, and at the time, I was like too young to really like it or appreciate it.
Mm.
But like anytime there were like batteries in that thing, and like I didn't want to play on it, she would use my Game Boy and just like sit and chin Tetris, and I think get actually quite good at it. In a general scale, there'd be some like naysayers who like watch pro Tetris players and be like, "Oh, your mom's shit at Tetris." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that really hurts my feelings." But
I don't think that's the point, though, is it really? It's just...
kind of like, but I mean, in terms of like a general person who's played Tetris, she was in the camp of people who were actually like quite interested in the game and would play it quite obsessively. But yeah, like there's something for. It's a rich tapestry. There's something for everyone, and I think it's the same as cinema. Like if you delve deeper than the like mass marketed shit that's designed, and I'm saying mass marketed shit as if it's bad. It's not bad. It's very good. Some of it's very polished. If that's not doing it for you though, that doesn't mean that's all there is out there. Like, if you don't like Hollywood blockbusters, that's not the only thing.
There's plenty more
out there for you. Look, I don't like films that much. You know that. I think they're generally too long. But a very good film, I'll sit down for 2 hours. It's not that I dislike every single film ever made. There are a lot of films that I think are very, very good. The activity itself isn't exactly for me, in the same way that games are probably not for everyone, and not everyone needs to be a super obsessive computer game fan, but they will find something somewhere if they look hard enough that they find very, very enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh. Let's have a couple of them.
Same with beer, but everyone loves beer. Anyone who says they don't love beer is a liar.
Well, I'm thinking that might be a good place to stop, Joe. We've got Staufen.
We
defended
actually did
Metz.
what we set out to
We
do.
did, yeah, we actually did it. We defended Metz and Antwerp and Carnarvon. And we've got Staufen.
We got told not to fight the Portuguese.
We're not allowed to fight the Holy Roman Empire anymore as well. We've just been told that.
What?
But it's alright, we've got Staufen now, so it doesn't matter.
So what do we take next? Quick peeks at what we...
We're not at war with the Milanese, and the Portuguese and
wanna
Spanish are
start a
too
war
far
with them?
away.
Do we
I don't
wanna
know.
take Bern?
We'll have to figure out what their standing is with the Pope before we launch an attack on them. But
Can you check that now? Because I want an objective for next time round. Because we were getting.
oh
we
yeah,
were
they're
getting
not
good.
liked, but they're liked more than we are. So
Yeah,
might
but
be
that's not
tricky.
hard, is it?
Denmark, we could go north and get Denmark. They've been excommunicated,
Ah,
but it's quite far.
should we do?
It's quite
It's quite far, but couldn't the army just like, I don't know, because people will attack us in the time in between, won't they?
well. Yeah, we can.
Can I just invoke my power of veto and be like, can we just take Bern? Can I just say, can we give Bern a go? The Milanese aren't super popular. Are they super strong?
No, they're not.
that-
No. Well, that one isn't. No, I don't know if the rest of them are, but that one definitely.
But
isn't.
that's all I want. All I want is Bern. I just want.
All right.
I want
Next turn we'll have a go at Burn. We'll build.
next stream. Next turn's probably a bit.
Yeah,
a bit
we'll
ambitious,
reinforce a
isn't it?
little bit, and then we'll.
I think we should
we'll
take
take
Bern.
Bern.
I feel it's there. That the Pope doesn't like them that much more than he likes us, and they seem
I wonder who
piss
they-
weak.
Have they got any strong allies though? Let's have a
Ooh.
look here.
Well, I mean, not anyone who's already
yeah,
fucking
no, that's
fighting us
fine.
anyway.
Actually, their enemies are the French, so we might be able to get a bit of favour with France, and they're not attacking us yet. So, but yes,
France are
we'll
kind of pally with us. We'll
yeah.
get Bern. We'll get Bern.
we'll do that on the next stream. So
That's gonna be some time though. Hui.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna
it
be
might be. It might be. Well, yeah, you know what? I'm saying this right, but I'm saying this because next week I might get back to old Blighty, COVID rules and testing, etc. I don't think I've got it, but if I get back to old Blighty and then I'm on holiday for a week, so I'm gone till like the 11th of September, and then I'm back. So
it
I'm
might
thinking
be after that.
next stream will be like probably the 17th of September. But I was going to mention this at the start of the stream. If this was a British show, this is the end of season 3. We're on episode 18 of this stream. So
Then.
this is, if it's an American show, we're not quite all the way through season
Season
1.
one.
But this is definitely a British show, and yeah, we'll have a I guess a cheeky break, and we'll come back and chin the Milanese probably in about a month's time.
Cool. Sounds like a plan. Let's do that. So,
Yep.
in the meantime, thank you all for watching, and check all the Indie Bandit stuff out on social media, on the Discord, obviously on the Twitch and YouTube channels as well. And yeah, well, I guess we'll catch you in about a month's time.
At least for this one, we do have
Oh yes, of
there
course.
will be other streams before that, but there will be a little hiatus. But as for conquering medieval Europe, we'll be gone for about a month. But there will be a couple other streams probably before that time as well, including our demo disc streams, and potentially looking into some other potential streams that could be rather interesting. I think we've got a lot of lovely indie devs who send us games to check out and play. So it's almost our duty to get around to them. But there is a lot of them. Like, you know, I appreciate that, but there are a lot of games out there, and it's just getting around to them and finding the time and giving them a real good showing on a stream.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we do have the demo disc streams, which are sort of every other weekend on a Sunday. We'll have one. We'll have one on this Sunday, the 22nd of August, But again, then there'll be like a hiatus for a month as I'm away, and the next one won't be until after our next World Domination stream. But then we'll be back with more streams of every conceivable kind. So check us out, as Jimmy said. We're on the socials, we're on the Twitch, we're on the YouTube, we're on Discord. Go find our Discord on our website, which you should also go to, indiebandits.com. There's everything for everyone who likes indie games. Just come celebrate them with us. And yeah, I'll see you next time. I'm sure Jimmy will too.
Yep. We'll catch you then. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hurrah.